no royal watcher was prepared for this. In early 2025, a locked drawer in Diana's old writing desk revealed letters she never meant the world to see. Letters hinting at a hidden daughter connected to King Charles himself. When Prince Harry received digital scans, everything changed. Enraged and emotional, he flew to Balmoral, demanding answers in a private showdown with his father. His words cut deep. "She's not a secret. She's our blood, and you buried her." Now, the monarchy stands on the edge of collapse, not from scandal alone, but from a truth too powerful to remain hidden: the letters Diana never meant to be found. In early 2025, history cracked open in the most unexpected way. Kensington Palace staff, working quietly on an archival restoration project in Diana's former quarters, stumbled upon a locked drawer in her old writing desk. No key, no label, just sealed wood and decades of royal silence. Inside, they discovered several handwritten letters, all undelivered. Most were addressed simply to W or H, with one envelope marked "For William and Harry, when they're ready." The letters were dated between 1992 and 1996, Diana's final years, when her marriage was collapsing and her trust in the firm was long gone. But it was the final letter that stopped archivists cold. In looping ink, Diana referred to a girl whose birth was buried beneath duty. She didn't name names, but her meaning was clear. This wasn't rumor. It was revelation. She wrote, "I was told to forget her, but no mother forgets what is taken or who is silenced." Shocked archivists passed the discovery to palace legal teams. But before the letters were sealed and buried, digital scans were quietly shared with Prince Harry. And once he read them, everything changed. The alleged daughter. Hints. Hidden in plain sight. The second letter, scribbled in haste but heavy with emotion, hinted at a truth Diana was never allowed to speak. She described a girl born during a time of clinical intervention, possibly IVF, allegedly carried out in secret under medical supervision, tied to royal physicians. Diana believed it was an experimental program, one she never fully consented to. According to her, the child was quietly sent abroad, raised with care but without answers. Diana's letters suggested she was manipulated into compliance, with phrases like, "They called it duty, I called it theft." Diana also wrote of suspecting Charles had prior knowledge of the program, even naming a few royal aides she believed were involved. She described a chilling moment. "He looked at me and lied, as if I would never know." The girl, she wrote, would now be in her late 20s or early 30s. She left no name but hinted at nationality: British, born in a private clinic, and vanished into foreign safety. More than one line hinted the child shared Charles's bloodline, but no title. Buried in a separate note was a sentence that seemed eerily prescient. "One day, the truth will find her, or she'll find them." Harry, already estranged from the monarchy, had just found a reason to question everything. Again. Harry gets the letters, and everything changes. When the digital scans arrived at Harry's California home, Meghan reportedly found him sitting at the kitchen table, motionless, the screen glowing. He didn't speak for hours. He read and reread every word, his eyes locked on Diana's handwriting, as if she were speaking across time. At one point, he whispered, "I knew she had more to tell." He didn't sleep that night. According to sources close to him, Harry became increasingly agitated, pacing, making calls, demanding clarification from the royal archives. When met with silence, he turned to the only person he believed had real answers: his father. Harry told a close aide, If there's a sister out there, then we've been lied to since birth, and I want the truth before it dies with them." With no warning, Harry boarded a private flight and headed straight to Balmoral, the very place where royal secrets are buried under tartan and tradition. But this time, one of those secrets was coming to the surface, and Harry wasn't leaving until he had answers. The confrontation. Balmoral turns into a war room. There was no royal schedule, no cameras, no press. Just Harry, angry, grieving, and determined, standing before his father. According to insiders, the confrontation between Prince Harry and King Charles took place in a private study at Balmoral Castle, with only one senior aide stationed nearby. Harry opened the meeting by tossing printed copies of the letters onto the desk. "Is it true? Did you hide a daughter from Mum and from us?" Charles reportedly froze. He sat in silence for a moment before saying, "The letters are real, but the situation is more complicated than you understand." That answer didn't satisfy Harry. His voice allegedly rose. "She's not a situation. She's our blood. And you buried her like she was shame." Witnesses claim Charles eventually admitted knowledge of a child born under unique circumstances, but claimed the full truth was never confirmed. A vague explanation that left Harry livid. An insider described it as a clash between royalty and raw emotion. And when Harry stormed out of the room, one thing was clear: this wasn't over. This was the beginning of a reckoning. Camilla's collapse and her ties to the secret. While King Charles scrambled to contain the fallout at Balmoral, another storm brewed quietly behind palace walls. Queen Camilla. She had been informed of the confrontation hours later by a private aide. According to witnesses, she went pale, collapsed into a chair, and whispered, "I begged him to leave it in the past." What came next shook the palace even further. Insiders revealed that Camilla had known about the girl since the late 90s, long before Diana's passing. At the time, she was told never to speak of it, not to Charles, not to the public, not even to her own confidants. One former courtier recalled overhearing Camilla refer to the child as a foreign problem that could ruin everything. It's now believed Camilla had pushed for silence, even going so far as to request the matter be removed from Charles's succession discussions in the early 2000s. She feared any revelation would reignite Diana's legacy and destroy their hard-fought public rehabilitation. Since the confrontation, Camilla has vanished from public view. She canceled multiple royal engagements, citing personal fatigue, but insiders say she hasn't left her residence in days. Her staff have been instructed to field all questions with a firm no comment. And for a woman once accused of outlasting Diana's shadow, it seems that shadow has returned to eclipse her once more. William's private breakdown. And a royal divide. Prince William was carrying out a quiet royal duty in Norfolk when it all came crashing down. It was a routine engagement, youth outreach, speeches, smiles for the cameras. But then an aide approached him urgently and handed him a sealed folder marked Confidential Archive. Inside, Diana's handwriting, her pain, and her final warning. The letters had been recovered during a restoration project. They were real, untouched, raw. Witnesses said William stepped away, clutching the folder tightly. He found a corner near the back of the estate and opened it slowly. What he read changed him. He was overheard whispering 5 chilling words. So that's what she meant. He canceled the remainder of his schedule, immediately retreating to a private estate with Catherine and the children. No press, no comment, no explanation, just silence and a devastation. But behind the scenes, William was unraveling. Palace staff described him as angry, distant, and inconsolable. One aide overheard him say, "Not just my father, the whole machine kept this from us." He refused to attend a meeting scheduled with King Charles the following day, officially citing emotional instability. Privately, he told Catherine he couldn't sit across from his father without saying something the press would never forgive. Catherine, fiercely protective, stood by his side. She told aides, "William's grieving again, and this time it's worse. This time it's betrayal." In the midst of the storm, something unexpected happened. The brothers, once fractured, reconnected. Harry and William reportedly exchanged a series of quiet phone calls. Sources say there were long pauses, deep sighs and tears, but also a sense of shared pain. A rare moment of unity. They both said the same sentence at different times. "Mum never got to tell us her truth." It was no longer about who wore the crown or who walked away from it. It was about the silence forced upon the woman they loved most, and the system that made sure her final secrets were buried. Until now. And suddenly, the firm wasn't just facing scandal. It was facing two sons, united by grief, and ready to uncover everything the crown tried to forget. The public bombshell. Does the royal family have a hidden heir? It didn't take long for the letters to reach the public. A historian, part of a legal team working on Diana's estate archives, had filed a Freedom of Information request months earlier. The timing couldn't have been more explosive. The story leaked through a media channel in under 48 hours. The headlines were instant fire. Secret daughter? King Charles's hidden child? Diana's final revenge? Online forums exploded with theories. Some pointed to women photographed near royal events. Others hunted for clues in old hospital records. A few believed the woman had been hidden in plain sight for decades. More than 2 million people signed a petition demanding a full investigation into the child's identity and DNA status. Parliament began asking quiet questions. So did church leaders. But the most viral moment came from Harry himself. During a podcast appearance already scheduled weeks before, he said simply, "Sometimes the people closest to you carry the most dangerous secrets, and one day they all come out." Camilla's name trended worldwide, again. But this time, Diana's name eclipsed even that. Candlelight vigils reignited. Old footage of Diana went viral, especially interviews where she hinted at betrayals too painful to name. The crown, for all its centuries of silence, was now caught in a roar it couldn't contain. A royal reckoning. And what comes next? King Charles now faces something no monarch in modern history has ever been forced to confront. The ghost of a wife who was silenced, armed with her own words, and resurrected by her sons. The palace, true to form, has kept its lips sealed. No official press release, no royal statement, no clarifying interview. But the silence is deafening, and it's cracking under pressure. Inside Buckingham Palace, aides are said to be working around the clock, trying to manage what some are calling the Diana revelation crisis. One senior official reportedly described the mood as more fragile than during Megxit, because this time it's her, and she's not here to defend herself. Parliament is weighing in. Several MPs have raised questions about transparency within the monarchy, particularly relating to Diana's sealed records. One even pushed for a formal inquiry into how royal matters involving heirs, or possible heirs, are managed outside public knowledge. The Church of England, typically reserved on such issues, released a rare statement urging the royal household to pursue truth with grace and ensure that past wounds are not ignored simply for comfort. Meanwhile, Prince Harry has not backed down. Insiders say he's continuing to fund quiet investigations into the woman Diana described, not for drama, but for answers. As one longtime friend of the Sussexes put it, he doesn't want revenge. He wants restoration. Across the Atlantic, Harry has reached out to international legal advisors and is reportedly considering a private DNA initiative to locate and confirm the woman's identity, if she's alive and willing. Back in London, Prince William has taken a more cautious yet deeply emotional approach. He's working with a private legal team and historians to create a new family trust in Diana's name. The trust will house her unpublished writings, letters, and recorded reflections, all protected from future censorship or erasure. And tucked within its purpose, William hopes, is space for someone they never expected. A woman who may carry our blood and deserve our truth. Camilla, meanwhile, has vanished from all family engagements. One aide quietly admitted she's unraveling behind the scenes, and Charles doesn't know how to hold her or the crown at the same time. As one royal historian told The Times, the monarchy has endured scandal, abdication, betrayal. But this is personal, because it isn't about losing the public's trust, it's about finally losing the illusion. The letters were never supposed to be found, but they were. And now, Diana's final whisper is echoing louder than the crown itself. This isn't just another royal controversy. It's the return of a mother's voice long silenced. Diana's words have reached her sons, and now they're demanding justice for the sister they never knew they had. If the crown once hid her, Prince Harry will make sure the world never forgets her.